You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 3 of the Cricket Podcast. A reminder to subscribe to the show wherever you find us and to head over to Twitter and or Instagram at the Cricket Pod to get involved with our socials. We're wrapping things up at some point in the near future. This is the final part. That's what I mean to say. But it would be remiss of us not to talk about Mickey Arthur. Ross, he's back in the game, but we will not be seeing his shorts. At least not unless he, maybe he'll do that thing where he gets up at his desk and let's not go there. Rob, Mickey Arthur, online coach for Pakistan. Talk to me.
Yeah, so it's a bit. Well, we're not 100% sure if this is actually happening. But it's been announced on one of the Pakistani news channels as breaking news. He'll be the first, and they've done well, the PCB here, because it's all about PR, as we know, right?
Yeah,
and they've billed it as this is the world's first online cricket coach.
Yes.
For an international side. Is that a brag that you want to be going
groundbreaking? England are the first international cricket sides to send their team out without any funding whatsoever.
It's not even really clear. I mean, so Saklim Mushtaq, he's gone. The PCB have said, and so obviously the PCB need to fill the role. Though a few weeks ago, it was sort of announced that they tried to speak to Mickey Arthur, but he's got like a 50-year contract with Derbyshire or something like that, and he didn't really fancy going on the road. He's coached basically every team on the circuit at this point, and I guess he wanted.
He's been a Pakistan coach as well, hasn't he?
In the Peak District. Yeah, he has. Yeah. Back in 2019, he went after the World Cup. It appears, and again, like it is all a bit weird, and we'll talk about some of the guys in the background, that he has been offered the role of team director. So not quite head coach, but it sounds a lot like head coach when you look at what the role description is, which he will take on in an online capacity until at least the World Cup. I think it's been mooted that he will link up with the team for the World Cup and will kind of operate in a consultancy role.
I feel like we could offer this service. I feel
we do this digitally, don't we?
We essentially do.
Yeah.
Some would say we're more qualified to do online coaching than Mickey Arthur is.
Apart from the coaching bit.
Yeah, well, but play straight.
I mean, my question sort of is like, what is he there to do? Like, it's pretty explicit that he won't be doing any coaching or consultancy during the county season because he'll be busy with Derbyshire, which means he won't be around for the Pakistan tour of Sri Lanka in July. It means he won't be able to do the Asia Cup in September. So, like, what, in the nicest possible way, what are
they paying him for?
Yeah, what are they doing here? Can anyone answer this?
Obviously not. Pakistan. There are no answers. There are only things that happen, and we just have to ride the wave.
Do you reckon they're going to do it like in some kind of OnlyFans arrangement? They only get the content that he's allowed to give if they pay up first.
Is that how OnlyFans works? I wouldn't know, Ross.
Yeah, well, it's just like our Patreon, Max, except with more boobs.
It's also mooted that they're going to bring in Islamabad United's general manager Rehan Ul Haq, who I mean, again, it's really just not clear what the guy's going to do. So it's something like a team manager, but they don't think he will do the traditional administrative role of a team manager, and it might be a bit more like a kind of man on the ground for Mickey Arthur.
Hype man?
No, not a hype man. Like a spy or something.
Okay.
Like, he's going to be there, and he's going to be Mickey Arthur when Mickey Arthur is
the handler.
I don't know what length shorts he's going to wear. Presumably, that will be how.
Whatever length Mickey Arthur tells him, I think.
Like Impractical Jokers. Maybe that's what this is going to be like. Literally, you can have a TV crew following him around, and Mickey Arthur's just going to be watching it on a little screen going, right, you've now got to do this.
I reckon PCB have been catfished. I reckon that's what's happened to us.
I mean, it does sound a bit like that. It sounds like to me, like Mickey Arthur said, I don't want to do the job unless you let me do it on Zoom or something like that. Ha 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 ha. they've gone away and been like, yeah, okay. And I've done a little bit of background research into some of the people who might be behind this decision. As you'll all know,
Bill Gates.
there's been quite a lot of upheaval at the PCB. Ramesh Raja, he was given his marching orders.
It's the next moon cycle. That's why.
I don't fully understand why Ramesh Raja was fired. I mean, I know the Test series was a complete disaster. But they did. They got to the final of the T20 competition, didn't they? And they got to the final of the Asia Cup, and they don't seem to be too bad an ODI team. And you wouldn't say it was the most talented group of players of all time. So I'm not sure what Ramesh Raja actually did to get fired. As like incompetent,
he did go off on one a few times, didn't he?
Yes. No. I mean, like I fully acknowledge the incompetence, but like. Two doing, if you've got some incompetence going on, doing more incompetence doesn't generally lead to positive outcomes.
Don't go incompetence, but online.
Yeah, so they've done that. He's gone. Pakistan have brought in a guy called Najam Sethi for his third go as PCB chair. He's 74 years old. So this, is
it third time's a charm? Is that what they're going with here?
This point about, I could be your online coach thing. When you hear the age of some of the people involved in this, you're like, doesn't seem like such a preposterous theory. He's backed up by head of selectors. I don't know. I blink and you missed this. Shahid Afridi was, Shahid Afridi was head of selectors for 3 weeks before he got relieved of his duties.
He's come out and said it was total bonkers, hasn't he?
Yeah. And they brought in a guy called Haroon Rashid. Another guy.
Wait. Imagine being Shahid Afridi and then finding out they're going to appoint Mickey Arthur as an online coach, and he was like, "Absolute, I'm out of here."
So they brought in this guy called Haroon Rashid. He's also 70. He played for Pakistan, back in the late 70s and early 80s. If you look him up on Wikipedia, he has an incidents section, which is always good. Whenever you're on Wikipedia and you see someone with an incidents section,
controversies,
right? Incidents or controversies, they're going to be great for cricket. There are two on there. In 1995, Haroon Rashid escaped a hit and run attack for not selecting a player advised on a phone. In 1995, I don't really know about that, but there was a hit and run attack on him, basically. Yeah. I guess not.
But there was some technology.
Yeah, and there's a digital aspect to this.
There's a bit of an they're innovators. You're also going to say these 70-year-olds are innovators, Jack.
Yeah. And he was pulled out of a car near a Karachi shopping centre by youngsters for batting too slowly in the 1979 World Cup semi-final.
All right, so it's not. These incidents sound like he's been perpetrated against rather than
but they're still good, isn't it? Still colourful background, isn't it? To the backdrop of all of this as well, and I think this is one of the most incredible stories, possibly even more incredible than the online coach. Pakistan, I think you might have covered this on last week's pod. They argued against the demerit point, didn't they? And the demerit point was taken out. I don't know if you really got into the detail of why.
No, because there was a result.
No, because Pakistan successfully argued. I mean, this is basically what happened. The reason that England scored so many runs and it was the highest run scoring test of all time, blah 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 blah, wasn't because the pitch was crap. It was actually because the bowlers were too bad. So that's the argument they took to the ICC.
In their defence, they're not entirely wrong.
They brought along Hawkeye data to show how bad their bowlers were.
Did they?
And,
innovation.
Yeah. and that's successful. Obviously, I mean, they played what happened is they played the long game and they looked back to the actually terrible, like the worst pitch of all time, the one against Australia earlier in the year, and they were like, if that's 1 point, then the pitch that we played on that that can't be also 1 point.
Yeah, and also I think they did use the argument a bit as well that there was a result and therefore it can't be that bad.
Oh yes, yeah. No, I don't know if they used it, but one of the ICC's quotes was that there were 37 wickets taken, which was one of the redeeming features.
Totally ignoring the fact that England played a brand of cricket no one's ever seen in Test matches before, and then put in the world's most mental declaration.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful stuff. It brought me a lot of joy looking into Pakistan cricket.
I enjoyed that. That was good fun.
There was a whole load of stuff as well a few weeks back of people like just doing tweet threads about other potential candidates for the board. Being like, this person, I know you saw like people's expenses being released publicly and stuff like that.
Yeah, wonderful.
Going on holiday for months and months on the PCB dime.
I cannot wait for this to usher in a new golden era of Pakistani cricket.
But
it would be too perfect.
For Max, what if it does?
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if it does? I mean, they could be trailblazers. They could be setting the scene for online coaches for international cricket for years to come.
There's only one last thing. And they've got away from Ramesh Raja's philosophy completely, haven't they? Really, because Mickey Arthur is an Australian, as far as I'm aware.
I think that was Ramesh Raja's philosophy.
Yeah, but Mickey Arthur's not Australian, is he? Or is he Australian?
Is he not?
I think he's South African.
Yeah, they're all the same to me.
I tell you what, he's literally on
South African, Australian.
That's what he said. So they're sticking to it. They're not going away from what Ramesh Raja. They're still hiring Australians. So fair play.
Right. We had some questions. We had one in from a Patreon. Remember, you can sign up there. Patreon.com/the cricket pod. From £5 a month, you get an extra show every week, plus an extra show every month, and access to our Discord. In short,
and loads of data.
£10. No, you don't. You have to pay £10 a month for that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, for £10 a month, you get loads of data and access to bonus stuff that we negotiate with some of our contributors and partners. Last month, it was data packs for the SA20 and the IL T20, which are swag, to be honest. This month will be Scouting Cricket with Ronan. That'll be out on Wednesday, I think. We do it on the beginning of each month. So the next Patreon drop will be Wednesday for those people. So yeah, get involved. Question, Square Root 3 says, how much will the scuffed pitch help in preparations for the India tour for Australia? And are Australia underprepared compared to England, who came from Sri Lanka a couple of years ago? I don't know if you haven't seen this. Australia have been doing a practice match on a wicket that they've played on loads, I guess, to prepare for Australia, prepare for India. I guess it will help a bit, won't it?
I don't think teams do enough of that. I like it.
Scuff up wickets.
Well, no, just think about what they're likely to face and try and replicate. I seem to remember something similar. It might have been the Australians as well. Like they went and played on some sort of artificial pitch that they engineered to basically behave in a certain way in preparation for a similar series. I'm all for it. Why not? It might make a small difference. So if you're going to get a marginal game, it's worth a go.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the series overall. I will have to do a proper preview a little bit nearer the time. It starts on the 9th of Feb, so we've got a little bit of a wait still to go. But Australia are taking a pretty good team with at least 2 or 3 players batting wise who you'd think will be able to score for them. So Smith and Labuschagne, obviously.
Yeah, Khawaja,
very good player of spin. Warner's got decent history in India, albeit in the IPL. Well, basic experience in the conditions is what I'm getting at there. Cam Green gives them some nice balance, good bowling attack. Maybe a spin bowler light. I don't know if Ashton get Agars.
Or Schwepson. Yeah. Oh no, they've got a new guy going, haven't they? They've got a new guy.
I think it's gonna be Agar and Lyon probably as the frontline spinners, but we'll see. I expect them to lose, but they might compete. Joseph says predictions for the upcoming Women's T20 World Cup. Who's going to win that, or who besides Australia could win that, Max?
I think the 3, obviously Australia, and then England and India. I think India took down Australia, didn't they, recently? Finally, someone did. So I think it's in South Africa. I'm going to go. I reckon England are going to do it. I reckon someone's finally going to take down Australia, and I reckon it's going to be England. I'm going to pin my colours to the mast, and then we can have almost everything in the England cabinet.
Yeah. I think Australia. I can't. They're a god squad, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Rashish has asked us about online coaching, and we provided an answer.
If anyone would like online coaching from us, then maybe we add that as the one of our Patreon things.
Vinay asks, I mean, if you want some online coaching, we'd be happy to give it to you. Yeah,
don't know what
life coaching, just general life coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah. Tell us about what's going on in your work, and we'll give you some pointers. Handle that big presentation.
Very nice.
Vinay, 2 questions on England, Ross. Should Joss Buttler be opening in ODIs? And is Harry Brook a once-in-a-generation type of genius player?
First one, I don't think Joss Buttler should be opening in ODI cricket. I think, Jack, you eloquently put, I thought at the start, that his importance at that 6-7 position is at home. And with the retirement of Stokes and Morgan, he's got bigger fish to fry in that middle order, because we've got quite a few options right at the top. And then the other question, I don't know, but Max, what do you think about it?
I think it's probably too early to define someone as a once in a generation talent. I mean, he looks shit hot.
He passes the eye test.
Let's not beat around the bush.
That's
the question. Well, that's you see, like, I mean, you when you're looking without being facetious, Shubman Gill has just scored a ridiculous number of runs in one-day cricket. Harry Brook's still finding his feet.
But that's
for England.
20th century, isn't it?
Yeah, but Harry Brook's still finding
in 3 matches.
He did, but he's still finding his feet in all formats. He looked decent in the 2020 World Cup. He's put in that good innings in the one days. I mean, there's every chance that he is going to be at that level. But he's, like I say, he's young. He's early in his career. He's really exciting, and I can't wait to see him develop. But we should think we can bandy about something like once in a generation just yet.
It gives me the same feeling as I used to get when I used to watch Kevin Peterson.
Right.
And
so if he continues to be that, then I think you probably could argue he's like, once in a generation, because Kevin Peterson changed things.
We had a lot of Abby wanted us to talk about Mickey Arthur as well, but I think we did Mickey Arthur. Anand says players who impressed in the SA20.
SA20.
In the SA20.
Is that the South African pronunciation?
Batsman and bowler. What's the best word to say with a South African accent? Let's do that. Best batter, best bowler, and the best word to say with a South African accent. Max.
We
touched on
we did touch on this last week. For me, Will Jacks, he's scored 270 runs at a strike rate of over 200. Yeah. That is disgusting. Like, that is absolutely disgustingly good. Mm-hmm. And I think I've been quite impressed by. I mean, he's not right at the top of the wicket charts, but he got his way into the South Africa. So I've been quite impressed by Sisanda Magala. I think he's been quite good. I wouldn't say he's been necessarily the standout, and you could just look at the top of the wicket charts and go, why is Rolf van der Verve there? But he is. But I've been impressed by him.
Bjorn Fjortun has been pretty good as well on that front, and I quite like Aaron Fandiso as well, who came in as a wild card.
Apart from the bit where he chucks
and he left armour. It's exciting, I think.
What word are you going to say in South African accent?
Well, I take it. Do you remember District 9, the film?
My name is Vikus. My name is Vikus Vindemua.
Yeah. What prawns? Is that what you're saying, Max?
Prawns. Fucking prawns.
I think you've got to get the rolled R in, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's good.
What about Vinayr and Philandra? If you're on YouTube, that's a callback to a video from earlier.
VJ asked whether Curran went overboard. We answered that in part 1. And JR, I think we called this tweet out, said, "Are you happy that your podcast could go back to its original format of criticising England?" And I'd say we were happy. Probably a good way to end the show as well. Mm-hmm. Cheerio, everyone. We'll be back at some point. I'm still trying to get Dan Weston on the show. Just jetting around the world.
Yeah, too busy. We want to know how much he made in Vegas.
You make too much money if you're a cricket analyst. You heard it here first. Have a good one. Enjoy, cricket.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.